All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this demonstration where we are going to be checking out how to make 5 thumbnail sketches. Thumbnail sketches explore composition. This is the arrangement of the same objects in different ways, okay? You can see that I have my paper set up with 5 boxes of different shapes and sizes, okay? Some of them are tall rectangles, some of them are squares, and some of them are skinny long rectangles, okay? So what I'm doing right now is my candy is off the page, the objects that I'm drawing from, and I am sketching out the basic outlines or contour lines, so any visible edges of my objects, and I'm looking at where they might run off the page. Okay, that one I'm going to come back and I'm going to rearrange the edge of my rectangle that represents the edge of my project so that the little gumdrop can be contained within the thumbnail sketch. Try not to get distracted by detail. You really want to focus on big picture. Notice that I am including something called a cast shadow. It's the shadow on the underside of my objects. I like to include this because it helps with balancing your composition, all right? Frequently, new artists forget to include the cast shadow, but it is an important part of your composition. It's just one of the elements that you can arrange. Now you can see that I'm arranging my objects in a different way. Okay, I took a picture so that I can show you on the video. You can try to crop in. On this one, I'm going to try to get closer to my objects rather than further away. It is a challenge to zoom in. Your brain will want to draw them the same size every time. Focus on one object first and draw it much larger than you otherwise would have, and then draw the other objects in relation to that object. With the Hershey Kiss, I start almost always with that curve on the bottom, okay? And then I draw a line up at the middle of that curve to establish where the point is. It's symmetrical on the left and the right on either side of that curve on the bottom of the Hershey Kiss. Notice that when I arrange my objects, I'm trying to think about angles that would direct your eye through the composition. So in the sketch that I just drew, the Tootsie Roll, the long, thin cylinder, directs your eye on an angle to the Hershey Kiss, okay? Moving on, I have arranged my candy off the page. I actually opened up the foil on my Hershey Kiss to change the arrangement of the objects. Okay, and now I am drawing my center of interest, which is my Hershey Kiss, and then I'm going to draw the other objects in relation to that Hershey Kiss. Since this is a tall, thin rectangle, I arranged my objects vertically so that they're going back into the distance. In this one, I added the box that contained my little gumdrops or dots. Notice how my box runs off the edge of my page and I don't continue drawing it. Okay, the edge of my page is the edge of that rectangle. That rectangle, again, represents the edge of my future project paper, right? So I'm planning a project right now. Each of these rectangles are potential project papers that I could be drawing on. It just so happens that since I'm planning it, I'm doing it all on one little computer piece of paper, not a project paper. So notice I rearranged my objects again. I've completely taken the Hershey Kiss out of the foil at this point. Okay. Remember, the view at which I am drawing it is different from the view of the camera. So when I sketch, my drawing will look a little bit different than the angle that you are seeing it in the camera. And finally, my last composition, I decided to not include the Hershey Kiss at all. It was the center of each of my previous compositions. In honor of trying to switch things up and come up with an original arrangement, I switched up how many gumdrops I had, and I eliminated the Hershey Kiss. Notice I'm adding the cast shadows.